This is the Note Closers Show, where you get the latest developments in distressed note investing and learn the secrets of how you can control millions of dollars worth of property for pennies on the dollar. Get educated and entertained by someone who has closed thousands of deals and lives to support you in achieving the same. Now, here's your host, CEO of We Close Notes, Scott Carson.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Welcome to this episode of the Note Closers Show. I'm Scott Carson. Happy New Year, everybody. Today is the first episode of the 2018 Note Closers podcast season, and we are delighted and excited to be sharing here with you. And so I want to thank all of you guys that are listeners on iTunes and the podcast, and also those that listen and watch us here on Facebook Live. So we are totally jacked up. Still a little bit of a holiday season here. It's nice and cold and chilly here in Austin, Texas. We had our ice storm of about a half inch of ice New Year's Eve here in Austin, and of course it melted off the next day. So, but it is back to work. It is Tuesday. We are back at the office, rock and rolling. The staff is back from a week-long hiatus vacation. Hopefully, I think they all had a good time, enjoyed the time away, huh, Nicole?
Oh, yeah.
It was good stuff. So today's topic, though, is something that I read. It's based on something I read and watched over the holiday season. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I'm a fan of bananas. And so every morning I eat a couple bananas because they're good in potassium. It's healthy. It's something I get ready to prep for as I do my afternoon workout. I usually go through 3 or 4. And many of you, you go to the grocery store, you pick up a couple bananas, you're excited about it, right? Easy thing in and out. Well, there was a quote that I read this weekend that I thought I'd share with you because I think it's really, really valuable with what we all focus on. And it was on LinkedIn, and it was a quote that said, Jack Ma, the richest man in China, said, if you put bananas and money in front of monkeys, monkeys will choose bananas because monkeys do not know that money can buy a lot of bananas, okay? In reality, if you offer job and a business to people, they would choose a job because most people do not know what business can bring, that business can bring more money than wages. Profit is better than wages, for wages can make you a living, but profits can bring you a fortune. Think investment. And that's a big thing, I think, out there. A lot of us initially are working through things, and we take a job because, A, we want that income. What's my salary going to be? What's my hourly going to be? Am I get benefits on different things? And that's great. I think when we're first getting started, especially out of college, brand new, you want to get some work history underneath of it. But as you get older in life, oftentimes an entrepreneurial bug starts to bite you, and you start figuring out, well, hey, am I just swapping hours of my life for hourly? And I can remember being a kid mowing lawns at $3 an hour. Can you imagine that? $3 an hour today? No, exactly. No. $3 an hour was big money, though, 20 years ago, or actually not 20 years ago, but like 30 years ago when I was 10. But I was happy for it. I used that money and I went and bought stuff with it, and I would go back and mow more lawns the next weekend. I think a lot of people struggle with making that initial jump. They make that, and I get it. It's difficult. Sometimes people are holding on to that rail of security, having a job, or they've got to have so many bills paid, and they don't have the belief in themselves totally what they can do. This is why I'm a big believer that, hey, start your side hustle now. If you're doing something on the side or thinking about doing it, don't wait to do it till everything is perfect, because nothing's going to be perfect. This one banana represents probably 1,000 bananas that didn't make it to market. Now, if you don't know about bananas they have a banana tree, and they only basically last for one season. All right? And they grow up these bunches of bananas, and literally, if they don't meet specifications, where it's so long or so thick or whatever, it gets chopped off. Now, does that mean it's a bad banana? Does it mean it's unhealthy? No, a little small banana would be good to have, and I think it would be great. But it doesn't. It gets chopped off at the market before it goes on the banana boat, before it goes on the fruit carrier and comes to the United States. It's got to be specific size and everything like that. I think that's a big mistake that a lot of people make, especially coming into the new year. We all have resolutions we want to accomplish. We all want to have our business grow so big, and we want to close so many deals, we want to make so much money. Or it's like this, I want to lose weight, or I want to pay off my credit cards, or I want to get out of debt, those kind of things. and we focus on the initial thing. I mean, for most people, when they think about making money, it means they got to work harder. Okay, it means I got to work 80 hours a year versus 40 hours a year. When we all know that's the treadmill you got, hard to get off of. Or I want to close more deals this year. But what does that mean? Okay, does that mean you're just going to keep doing the things you've been doing to see deals come your way, or are you going to do different things in your business to get rock and rolling? Are you just going to focus on the low-hanging fruit of the bananas that hedge fund guys give you, or some of the list guys, or are you going to go out and literally go say, heck no, and go to the source? Now, obviously, I'm not going to jump on a boat or a plane and fly off to wherever they grow bananas and buy bananas directly. That's not what I'm going to do. But for business, especially in the note business world, you have the opportunity to do that here without really having to have a lot of expensive marketing, a lot of overhead to really help grow your profit line or your bottom line to help you either close more deals or make more money. Because that's really what it all comes down to. Those two are, directly connected. If you're going to close more deals, you should be making more money. If you want to make more money, you got to close more deals. Now, what does that take, though, to find the more deals? It means you got to market more. That means, do I still do the same things that I've been doing for years? Do I drop out 1,000 postcards? Do I drop out 5,000 postcards? Do I drop out, do I go door knocking? Do I, write yellow letters? Do I send foreclosures to foreclosure lists? And the answers to that is you have to work smarter in today's market, not harder. And honestly, how do you work smarter? Well, the best way to do it is wherever you can obviously exponentially grow yourself, or exponentially get the word out, or exponentially market yourself. And the smartest way to do that is to build networks. Okay, building a network of people that you don't have to do it all yourself. Building a network of people that can send you deals, or a network of asset managers that you can reach out to on a regular basis. So I love it because I've seen people over the last week and a half going out there and saying, oh, hey, I'm reaching out to asset managers this week, okay? Or I'm going to drop out emails this week. Look, it's great to have a network and build a list of networks, but you have to work smarter. And if majority of people are still getting back to work this week, it's not going to be an effective time to send things out this week. But it's good that you're building a list. You just have to use it. Building networking is one thing. Building a list is another thing. But then also using it, instilling it, or putting that list to work is the magical key to making sure that your message is actually read and seen and people can respond to it. Because if you send out an email on New Year's Day, most people aren't going to see it. They're going to see Happy New Year and then delete it off because they get bombarded with 100 others like I just did this morning. All right. So the thing to keep in mind is, are you treating your business like a banana where it's one at a time, or are you trying to go back to the tree? Now, before I dive into it, do we have any questions, comments from anybody?
A lot of Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to everybody. Thank you very much. Do me a favor, if you really are enjoying these podcast episodes and you're watching on Facebook Live, please share this to your page. It's one of the great things that we like to do, see how our message gets out, how many people are seeing this besides just our tribe. And then, of course, if you're listening on iTunes, it's probably going to be closer to Friday or Monday when this is uploaded on iTunes. So make sure to leave a 5-star review, or feel free to share this with somebody that you get a lot out of. You can always use the hashtag NoteClosersPodcast. If you enjoyed the episode, we'd love to hear from those people out there that are listening on iTunes and Stitcher. And, when you're listening or where you're listening to it, whether on a train, automobile or plane. Plane, trains, or automobiles, wherever you're watching us at, on the beach, at work, in the toilet, at the office while you're taking your 15-minute break, whatever. I don't need to know that. But anyway, what I'm trying to get at is let us know where you're listening. So appreciate for Cedric and Laura sharing the post this morning. We're about to see that. But anyway, getting back to the banana. A lot of us are monkeys. Initially, a lot of us are like, woo, I got a banana. I got to get excited. We're eating a banana. And we're like, where's the next banana? And we wait for somebody to bring us a banana, okay? Well, the idea is you want to build a network versus just like one source or two sources. That way you have an abundance of bananas coming your way versus you trying to go out and have to do it all yourself. And how do you accomplish that in the new year? Well, a couple things. One is, like I said before, starting networks. Now, where do you find the best networks? Really, there's kind of three major places that I would say are the best places to find network. The first one is Facebook. Facebook's going to have a great network facility, especially if you're part of a group. And so just so you know, I joined 2 networks yesterday on Facebook that are podcast networks. One was like 180,000 or 111,000 other podcasters. I'm like, oh, that's one of the great way to do it. I want to go out and network. And sure enough, I've already been invited to go to a podcast conference in July in Philadelphia, which is great. I'm looking forward to that. That's what I was looking for. Another thing, we had a friend fly in this weekend who's very big and active in the comics and the Marvel space, and he's wanting to start his own collectibles shop and collectibles business because he's big into that. And so I was like, listen, well, don't go out and buy a store. That's the old way of doing business. Going and getting a storefront and then hiring people and then having to pay, rent and all that stuff. No. I said, go online. Why don't you jump online and utilize some of the online networks and the fan networks? He's like, oh, yeah. So he joined 3 Facebook groups that were over basically 300,000 people. He's got a phenomenal network there now to deliver out his collectibles if he chooses to do so the other way. All right. So Facebook, great place to reach out to the head of find a lot of other business owners that have bananas for you. Another place that's really great to go is Meetup, meetup.com. Great group to go. I mean, there's a lot of great groups on there, especially if you're in the real estate industry. Finding real estate investment clubs in every major city helps you expand your network exponentially with local experts. Because let's face it, as note investors, when we're building our team, especially when you're diving into a new community, because that's one of the biggest questions I get from people is, how do I build my team in different cities? Well, what would you do in the city that you're at? Well, if you're in Austin and if I need somebody to go look at a property, first thing I do is I'd hire a realtor. So I jump on and find a realtor. I find a real estate investment club to go network at, okay? Third thing I would do is I'd be asking the president of the club or the realtor if they had any rehab crews or people that were interested that could help me out with clean outs and things like that. So that's the thing I would be using, as my focal point in building a network in a different city. Meetup groups, real estate investment clubs, because they're going to have, if you're going to deal with other investors that want to buy your assets or that you want to sell your assets to or potentially find, that's the thing that I would do, be going and joining your meetup groups in the cities that you're a big part of. Now, let's face it, whether you believe me or not, January and February are always going to be the most active months of real estate investment clubs for the most part. Why? Because people are setting up their New Year's resolutions. That's why the gym is going to probably be packed this evening. That's why the gym will be packed this week and then dead the next week. Because people will go in gangbusters trying to get fit overnight and they'll be too sore to do anything else, okay? So one of the great things that we all can do is build your network, but realize it's going to take some time. Yes, you can show up January or February local real estate club, but you're not going to build a network overnight like that for the most part. That's going to be active. That's going to be feeding. You've got to work your network. You've got to be an active member of that network. Real estate investment clubs always crack me up because I see people that go to them January, February, looking around like crazy. They run around, but come March, April, they're nowhere to be found. Or they've gotten drugged back into life. Instead of going and building a network of bananas, they're having to just go buy one banana at a time again. They get so used, they need that fast, instant gratification. So instead of taking time to build a network to get deals sent to them, they go with the lowest hanging fruit, and they're like the rest of the monkeys trying to chase foreclosures or trying to chase sub-2 deals or something like that, and they're getting overbid. So do we have any questions or comments from people yet? Okay, great, good. So going back to the thing, building a network, using Facebook groups, using meetup groups. And the third group that I like to use for more specific groups would be LinkedIn. Now, LinkedIn has so many large groups out there. Some are very active and some are very kind of docile, not very active, but they have huge member lists. So there's kind of 2 categories, the big active or the smaller, the big not so active, or the lists that are active but may not be the biggest groups. I like active groups, but I also like leveraging a list and building a network. So the more people, I'll give you an example. I'm a part of a couple big groups, 100,000 plus people. Well, if there's only like 1% of people that are actually in doing that, that's still a good chunk. 180,000, that's still 180 people that are doing stuff on a regular basis. That's great. Phenomenal. Okay. It doesn't mean that the others aren't watching or they're just not communicating. They may still see it. They may get my emails. They may see the posts, the discussion boards. Those are still important to be a part of. And that's a great way to use that. Now, a fourth way, well, actually going back to LinkedIn, once you join LinkedIn groups and you connect with other members, obviously if you can grow your network that way and your followers or your connections, then they, instead of becoming maybe a third connection or a secondary connection, they become a first degree connection, and then obviously you have them in your database. It's easier to build a network on LinkedIn than I think it is on Meetup, because the fact is LinkedIn, once you connect with somebody, you get their email address. Now, Meetup is going to keep you from getting their email address unless, of course, the Meetup managing member has either asked the question, hey, what's your email, what's your phone number, and you've posted to your profile there. Now, not every Meetup runner or managing member does that. They just usually will cycle through Meetup, and Meetup doesn't always share emails, which is kind of frustrating for a tool like that, but I can understand that. Now, the other network that I've really kind of been big on the last year, 2 years, for the most part, when I really didn't like the website beforehand, is Bigger Pockets. Now, Bigger Pockets, very, very focused on real estate investors. What's nice is you can actually do based on your zip code, you can find local people around you, which is phenomenal, or people in different markets by typing the zip code of cities. It's very active. You can see who's active the most on there, who's sharing comments. It's a great way to raise capital, because a lot of people, which I just still don't get this today, but that's okay. People go on there, hey, I got 50 grand, or I got 300 grand, or I have 700 grand, or I got 100 grand. What can I do with it? And they basically open themselves up to people like, oh, hey, maybe you should do this, maybe you should do that. And that's fine. Easy way to find investors. I know a lot of people, including myself, have used it to raise capital. And what's always funny is there's a few people on there that bash that, but I'm like, you're not buying anything. Why are you bashing the people that are doing what you should probably be doing? And you just have the Debbie Downers there. But anyway, still gives you the opportunity to share, educate, repost, ask questions. I think it's a great network tool to really expand your network on that. Now, it's not going to grow as rapidly as your Facebook or your LinkedIn, but I still think it's a great way to ask questions, see who's answering, and be able to watch from afar if you need to, and then comment as you need to. Questions from anybody? No, we're still good. It's January 2nd, everybody. It's yesterday was National Hangover Day, right? Everybody's hungover from New Year's Eve on things like that. Being out till 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, not so much. But anyway, what I'm getting at is back to the banana, okay? Do you want to go out and talk with people one at a time, one-on-one, or do you want to reach out and have one message that goes out to your entire group or your entire network? And the bigger network is the more deals you close, the more money you raise, more things will get done in building your network, okay? So a very, 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 very valuable resource that all of you should be utilizing more this year than any other time in the past is video, using your cell phone, using your webcams, using your Instagram stories or your Facebook Lives. You all have those features available to you to record information. Now, one of the best things that you guys can do is there's basically a few videos that I would do if you're starting off that are, I think, very key, integral videos to help you kind of get the word out initially what you're doing, especially if you've never done videos before. The one that I highly recommend is a short about you video. Hey, what's your history? What are you focused on? Where are you going? That kind of video. And it doesn't have to be long. We're talking like 3 videos. Hey, I'm Scott Carson. I'm known as the Note Guy. I buy and sell defaulted notes. Or hi, I'm Johnny Smith. I'm a local real estate investor in Memphis that specializes in rentals here, but I also love defaulted notes and buying distressed debt. And maybe I've bought and flipped 100 properties, or I've got 12 rental properties. Something which is your basic bio about you video. That's the first thing, okay? Second thing, you should probably do a couple case studies. And by case studies, these would be deals that have closed, all right? But I don't, or deals that you're working on currently. Now, if you're working on currently, I don't think I would list the address. We don't want that to happen. You had somebody list an address of a property and they didn't even own it yet. It was a workout deal, not a good thing. But you can talk about the case study. Instead of saying 123 Main Street, I can say this is an asset in Fort Lauderdale, Florida that we're working on, okay? And go through the specifics and say more to come once we've closed out this deal. A couple case studies are great things to do. Any other videos, Nicole, that you kind of recommend for people? The about you, some simple case studies, maybe their team, talking about their team is a good thing.
If they have like personal assistants or anybody else that's helping with them, that's a good one to know. It's like a small company. It's very personable. Versus
being a one-man show, they've got people involved, right? I mean, I know you guys don't like to be on camera, but you still like it though when you are it though, I think.
Yeah, it's all right.
It's all right. It's okay. Roll the eyes. But what I'm trying to get at is what is important about why these videos? Well, if you post these videos and a part of your profile, I mean, Meetup or LinkedIn or Bigger Pockets or Facebook, it becomes your greeting. It becomes your ability to be able to communicate that story 1,000 times. All right. Now, one of the great things that we have done, I love about the podcast, is we have turned our FAQs into basically our episode. All right. When I get questions, we often turn it into an episode, and it's a great way for me to be able to communicate that question, that story, the answer to that problem 1,000+ times instead of me having 1,000+ conversations. I have a conversation once, it leads to that message being distributed, 1,000 times on Facebook Live, 1,000+ times on the podcast, and then it goes on to YouTube and Vimeo and gets viewed exponentially from there as well. It goes on to Google Plus and all those others through Nicole's magic using Buffer and all that good stuff out there as well. We get the word out, and the right people that need to hear it. And those that respond, thank you for responding. I responded to a couple posts this morning, people watching the first few episodes of some things, which is great, asking for the due diligence checklist and things like that from one of the episodes, which is always phenomenal. I always want to thank those people for listening. But what I'm getting at, guys, is your 2018 should not be about the banana. It should be about the banana network. Okay? It should be about building that network. And, we've got a pretty good little growing group on Facebook, the WCN crew. We went over 600 members over the weekend, which we're honored and excited to have. You've got this kind of a closed group. It's not open just to anybody. It's got to be somebody who's a student and things like that. I got through one of our workshops, but it's become a very good networking network with people sharing, posting ideas, posting what they're working on, and really kind of people responding, going back and forth. And that's the power of the network. If you build a big network and nobody uses it, it's basically worthless. It's like AT&T, Verizon building a network of cell phone towers, but nobody has cell phones. Okay? You have to realize that you're in the 21st century, all right? Scotty can only beam you up so far. You've got to do the rest of sharing your message, sharing what's going on. And look, I love posts. I love it when people are saying, oh, I'm doing this or doing that. That's great, okay? But the biggest bang for your buck is to start doing things to get outside. Because if you're inside your comfort level, you are not going to grow in 2018. If you want to grow this year and you've never done video before and never shared, that's going to be your biggest strength to get the message out. Instead of just having banana, have banana TV. And trust me, you start sharing what's going on and getting the word out, and people can see who you are. You're going to start building rapport. You're going to start becoming an expert in your field or whatever niche you're in. People are just going to send you bananas at that point. And that's ultimately what we always want. We don't want to get one banana. We might get cases of bananas sent to us. And I was thinking back to some of the people that I have not had on the podcast that we have down as guests over the next couple of weeks. And one of those is my buddy Jack Krupe. And Jack is out of New York, runs a big $100 million+ fund that focuses specifically on BK Chapter 13s. And I originally met Jack, I think about 7-8 years ago. Maybe it was 10 years ago, thinking about it now, off of a YouTube video.
Long time ago.
It is a long time ago, especially when you start thinking about YouTube back at the time, okay? And honestly, I think I got the video camera right here. I do, actually. I bought a note on a condo here in Austin from Doug Roberts, who's been a guest on here, local DSRN. And I was I went out and took a video of the property, literally using this little flip camera, I think that Dell used to provide. Okay. Little flip video camera, boom, plug it right in, uploaded all the software. It's pretty cool. I mean, I used this for years. And upload to YouTube. And it's me, just showing my face, talking about the complex. It's like 110 degrees outside, so I get sweat raining down my face. Really high quality video. Not really. Okay. But I walked around, I took pictures of the video, of the pool, the complex. I was buying like unit 101. Well, on a tape about 2 weeks afterwards, or maybe 2 months afterwards, I may be around that, I see a list of Texas assets, and there's 2 condos that were in this complex that I was buying. The one note on that, I saw these 2 notes. I was like, oh, I would like to try to buy those. Well, the whole tape got bought up before I could get my offers in. but I knew the unit numbers because there was unit 103 and 105, which was really right across from my unit. And so I didn't think anything of it. About a month goes by, or a couple weeks go by, and then my phone rings. It's a New York number, and it's a guy on the line asking me about the Burton condos here in Austin, what I know about them. I'm like, what are you talking about? Because, well, when I did a search, your video is the only thing that popped up about that complex. I was like, oh, really? I said, I saw it was a New York fund, and I said, well, you wouldn't be calling about 103 and 105, are you? And he's like, actually, I am. And I'm like, really? He goes, how the hell did you know that? I said, well, I buy distressed debt. I saw a tape that had these 2 units in there. I saw a New York number, figured it might be a New York fund that bought the assets. That's what I heard, that a company up in New York bought it. And so I just took a wild guess. It's like, actually, I did. I bought the whole Texas tape. And so I made a relationship right there, and I ended up buying the 2 assets from Jack over the phone and closing a week later. But it's built a relationship now for 10 years, and I bought a lot of assets from Jack, done a lot of stuff with him. Actually was his officiant at his wedding in Punta Cana, Dominican Republic, this last May 28th. But that's the thing. It all came from me taking the time to film a 3-minute sweaty ass close video, all right, that the hedge fund saw. And you never know when it's going to happen. That's led to Jack calling me on a lot of deals. We've helped move a lot of deals over the years. I've bought a lot from Jack over the years. I haven't bought anything from him recently, but anyway, still the point is I'm trying to get at, that's a network that hasn't gone away. It's a network that still works. I got an email today from another hedge fund that I did some videos for on a property in the neighborhood, and they called me about another note that they had down the street that was interested if I wanted to buy it. Right. And yes, those things have happened. Yes, I'm Scott. I'm at a different level than most people are. But there are still things. There's still so many neighborhoods. There's still so many markets. There's still many areas across the country that I'm not the expert at those markets. I'm in Austin, Texas. I know my few markets that I love to buy in, and I'm good. There's still so many out there and so many assets available for those that are interested in making something happen. You just have to do the work to build your network. And it doesn't take that hard to do it. Literally, I've given you 4 websites to go out to. All you've got to do is go out and start connecting with people. Start communicating in a fashion that makes sense. And a fashion that makes sense isn't just posting something, oh, hey, I'm doing this at 3 o'clock in the morning. It's all about, hey, what am I doing on a regular basis and sharing that via video? Because video is going to be the biggest bang for the buck. YouTube is the 2nd largest search engine out there. You'd be silly not to do that. So questions, comments from anybody out there? We got a lot of people that are watching, huh? Mm-hmm. That's great. It's good to see that. Question. Anybody got questions? Now's the time. If you got questions about building your network or struggling to have an effective network, now's the time to post it so Nicole can ask me of it. Now, Mira, I'm a part of, I get invited to a lot of big groups on Facebook, and I turn them down a big chunk of them because the first things I do is I go and look to see how active they are. If they're not active, it either says one of 2 things. One, it's kind of a pseudo network where maybe the person that started a group is inviting a lot of people, but they're not actually communicating. There's another note group that's been around for a while, about 2,000 members. It's gone like quiet. It's like crickets. There's hardly anybody that communicates in there anymore. I post on a regular basis. There's a few others posting in there, but it's not many people at all. And so that's become a network that I'm toying with the idea of I might as well just leave it. If I'm not seeing anything from that network, I need to make sure and put my time and my energy into finding bigger bananas instead of a small little banana. I like bananas. I feel like the Minion banana this morning. Maybe I should have worn a banana, a Minion hat. Could have gone the yellow shirt with suspenders today. That would have been funny with a yellow hoodie. Questions, comments? I'm glad that love people are watching. Look, guys and gals, your best bet for this year is going to be build your network and focus on video. Those are the 2 biggest things you can possibly do. You're going to be doing a lot better than those that are just literally, I'm going to buy a list and send it to foreclosures list. Because if you look at, like here in Austin, Texas, Travis County, somebody asked a question about the Austin market on a group last week, and I responded that, it's less than 3 months of inventory. I think we had a total of 40 properties at the foreclosure list this month, down from like 900 at the peak, 40. And there's a very active real estate market here, very active list of investors here who are looking for just local properties. They're fighting each other for 40 distressed assets. That's that's a tough place to be in. I don't want to play in that. I want to deal in markets where there's not a lot of competition, but there's a lot of inventory. That's why I went to notes 10 years ago, and that's why I'm still happy that I'm doing notes in a variety of states. But my states have changed. My markets have changed. I haven't bought that much in Florida in the last few years. I've moved my focus to where the assets are and making things happen in Ohio, Michigan, Indiana, Illinois, Missouri, those kind of areas. So
Phyllis Ballman says she did her first Facebook Live video yesterday. She said it was really bad, but it's a start.
So that's I'm glad you bring that up, Phyllis. Phyllis, you did a great job. Your first videos are going to suck, okay? Because you're figuring it out. You're going to make, oh, is that working fine? You know, oh, the lighting's horrible. I don't like myself on video. I don't like the way I look on video. But it's okay. I've gotten beyond the fact that I've got a little extra double chin that pops up and things like that. I realize that the stuff coming out of my mouth is what's the valuable aspect. People aren't tuning in for the Playboy channel. Woo, notes after dark, the naughty side of notes. Anyway, but you did a great job. Your first video, you're going to get better. You're going to be exponentially better the second, third, fourth, fifth, 10th time you've done something. One person has done a really good job as they've done more and more videos is our buddy Bill Grissmeyer. Mm-hmm. Bill's doing a great job with his videos. I have not seen a lot from Carrie and Stacy Wall.
They send out emails more and more.
Yes, exactly. Doing more and more emails because they've done a good job building the network. But, you know, the video's good.
I miss the dining room, the dining table talk.
I know. I'm going to see him this week on the Quest IRA cruise. So we're going to have some good time hanging out with them. I'm really looking forward. I got Wayne Snell's going to be on the cruise. We got Natalie Patton. We got Adam and Jen Adams going to be on there. Alyssa Getzoff, Katie Moton, us. Let's see who else is there. Did I miss somebody? I think that's it. I know I'm missing somebody, I think. But the Walls are going to be on there. So be a good group of mastermind members. Our extended note family. We're going to have a good time. You know, the brotherhood of the note instead of the brotherhood of the coast. But anyway, questions, comments? No, we're good. Okay. So, guys, I want to implore you, don't go out just chasing bananas and fight everybody for the banana. Go out there, leverage your time, take the 30 minutes to film a video to talk about a deal instead of just posting it on there. Take a few minutes to talk about the deal you're working on. If you've got a deal that it doesn't have to be notes, you're working on terms or a foreclosure or a turnkey property, take a few minutes to discuss the video and make it about the deal. It ain't about you. All right? It's not about you. Share what you're working on. You can be generic in terms. I'll give an example. At the last virtual workshop, I did a short 2-minute video. I did a Facebook Live on it during a class. I didn't even give an address. I gave fictional numbers. I had 30 people that called me or texted me within 48 hours. Hey, I want to fund the deal. Now, yes, I've got a pretty good network, but that's the value of the network. If you're starting off, you're not going to have 30 people contact you, but you may have 1 or 2, and that's the start. As long as you're getting 1 person to see your deal, that's better than 0. And the only thing you guarantee by not doing or trying is the failure aspect of things of not going better than if you did something and got better at it each time. So as I like to say, fail forward. Phyllis, you're going to do a great job the next rounds. Kudos to getting started in your first one. Make it a priority in 2018 to expand your network. Do more videos. Go out there and network. Expand your database. And work smarter, not harder, everybody. So if there's no any other questions or comments from anyone, I think we'll wrap it up for the day. That's our episode for January 2nd. Episode 221 is in the books. Thank you to everybody once again that listened to 2017. We look forward to an even better 2018 here on the Note Closers Show podcast. So go out, make something happen, and everybody, we'll see you all at the top.